Hi, I'm Martin from strategicsalescoach.com. If you are a small to medium-sized medical company and you are currently competing against the larger multinational medical companies, you know the ones I mean, the types that make talcum powder and hip replacements that don't always work, or massive capital equipment companies that make pacemakers, and if you are currently competing against them in the market, you probably are finding that it's extremely difficult. How do you compete when they have got so much resource, they've got so much might, so much leverage with procurement departments that you're dealing with, they've probably got a portfolio of products that they can offer to your customers which you can't. So I'm specifically talking to you because I believe I can help you by using strategy, sales strategy. So I don't know if you've ever seen the film Braveheart, I'm sure many of you have. In the film Braveheart, what we see is the classic underdog story of how William Wallace leads a band of only 2,000 men against the might of the English army, which is 12,000 men. So, 6 times the resources, and he manages to pull off an epic win in that battle. So how does he actually do it? So the film uses a bit of poetic license and isn't actually historically correct. So if he'd have gone head to head with that mighty English force, as we see in the actual film on the battlefield, there's a very good chance they would have just been surrounded and slaughtered and would have lost. And that's really the experience of most small to medium-sized medical companies right now if they are dealing with those massive multinational companies, especially selling into the UK NHS. Same thing. So what did William Wallace actually do in the famous battle? So it's the Battle of Stirling Bridge. So what Wallace did very cleverly is using his strategy, he knew his enemy, which is one of the first things about strategy. He knew who he was competing against. He knew what the terrain and landscape was, and he knew that the best place that he could use to even up the odds and level the playing field was to fight the English force on Stirling Bridge. So Stirling Bridge was a narrow bridge and basically meant that the men had to fight one-on-one. He levelled the odds, he made it a fair fight essentially. And obviously they still had to work extremely hard. They still had to fight with all the passion and all the vigour to get them that victory. But what he'd done by using clever strategy is he had levelled the odds. And that's exactly what strategicsalescoach.com is all about. I've been in lots of competitive situations over my career working for both the big companies and the small companies, and the only way you can win is by finding your Stirling Bridge, finding a way that you can compete on a level playing field with those big companies. Otherwise, you are literally on a hiding to nothing and you may as well forget it. So come over to strategicsalescoach.com, book a free clarity call, which is just a 15 to 30 minute call with me, just to see where you're at, what you're trying to do, and whether or not we're a good fit for each other, and whether I can help you and your sales team develop some strategies to give them an advantage. Because ultimately, when you're dealing with the big boy, the big bully boy, big medical companies, the only thing you have is strategy. The only weapon up your sleeve is strategy. Without strategy, you will lose. So please book a call now and let's get this dialogue going. Thank you.